The Alumiline system is a beautiful way to create long-lasting wall surfaces. Begin by measuring and marking the wall stud locations. This is where the direct attach clips will be applied. Then draw a plumb line at each stud marking with a level across the entire wall. It's important that the lines are accurate because the planks will be mounted perpendicular to these lines. Next, draw a level line for the bottom of the first plank. Again, accuracy is important here. Measure the line for the plank length, subtract the trim width, and cut the plank at the correct angle. Then check the cut plank for fit. Place the first bottom clip at the middle stud line and screw it in. Make sure the plank is still on the level line and screw in an end clip. Then screw in the middle top clip at the stud line to secure the plank in place. Check that the plank is still on the level line and continue to add top and bottom clips to the plank at the stud lines across the entire plank. Set the power driver so the clips are tight but not deforming the wall surface. With the first plank row installed, measure under the clips for the plank length at the top of the next row. Cut the plank at the correct angle and check the fit. Remember to allow for the trim width. Place and screw in the bottom middle clip at the stud line with the plank firmly seated in the clips of the previous row. Continue to add bottom clips to the plank at the stud lines across the entire plank. Check each one to make sure the plank is tight against the previous row. Continue to measure and cut the plank rows, adding wall clips at the stud lines. When gaps in the plank row are necessary, measure each plank length up to and from the side of any gaps, subtracting the trim width from each end. Spacer clips must be carefully added at the gaps for properly spacing the shorter planks, and these will not always be driven into studs. After cutting the gap row planks, continue installing them, including the spacer clips at the gaps. These gap row planks are installed exactly like the other rows, with wall clips screwed in at the stud lines. Filler strips can now be added between planks. Cut any angles first, then insert each strip into the plank's side grooves. Pull them through the length of the planks to near the end and note this distance. Then cut off the other end with sharp scissors to the same distance. Use a needle nose pliers to pull the filler strip flush with the end and tuck it into the grooves. Filler strips can be added as plank rows are installed or later when all rows are finished. Follow the same process either way. For compound cuts, measure both top and bottom lengths carefully, subtracting for trim width. Then cut and place the plank. Adjust for trim width and install as before. Continue adding planks as needed. If the plank rows are long or the installation is large, a second installer can be a real time saver. If the installation exceeds the length of a single plank, a spring steel alignment spline is installed to keep two plank faces flush at the butt joint. Measure and cut the trim pieces. Check for fit, then mark and drill for the trim mounting screws at the reveal spaces between planks. Then screw in the trim pieces at the drilled holes between planks. The Alumiline system is an easy and elegant addition to any space.